So today I wanted to talk about the two Zeiss Batis lenses, the 25mm f2 and the 85mm f1.8. And I'm kind of going to compare them to the 24mm f1.4L2 and the 135mm f2L from Canon. And I'm also going to kind of compare the video AF to the 70D with essentially just a 24mm. It'll work with any Canon lens, but it works better with the L lenses and the STM lenses. But as far as these go, the AF constant autofocus, which I'll show you in a minute, works very well. It locks on, it sticks, it catches the focus pretty quickly. Maybe when you're coming from something close to something far or vice versa, it will give you a quick problem, but other than that, I haven't noticed anything. The 25 Batis is very good for bloggers or selfie video style people, in the fact that you can choose either the full frame option or the crop option for the Sony full frame cameras and have an effective, I think it's 30 to 40 some millimeter focal length in crop mode, and that's a very good one. 50 millimeters handheld is kind of close, so I think this is a very good option in that regard. On the front of sharpness and contrast, both lenses are very good. Very good wide open. On the Canon side, the 135 was very good wide open. The 24 was good wide open. It wasn't great. It was very good at f2, which this is as well, so that doesn't make or break anything in either direction here. With the Canon, there were a couple instances when I was shooting, say, grass or tree leaves with the sun glinting or shining through. I noticed it was kind of busy looking. I haven't shot anything like that with the Batis yet. I'm sure when I do, I'll update something or somewhere regarding the fact that it does or does not, but I have yet to do so as of now. I've only had the lenses a few weeks after sitting in the absolute dreaded Batis pre-order line for 2 months. The 85mm is gorgeous. It is my new normal lens. I'm a prime lens guy, and I've got some manual lenses. I still have the Canon 50 STM, the new one that they released last year or the year before. But I use the 85 Batis almost exclusively. I love the autofocus ability, I love the contrast, I love the look. The 85 field of view is very good. I miss the 135mm reach. I wish Zeiss or Sony or whatever, whomever, would make a plus 100mm prime lens. There's the A-mount 135-1.8. That's expensive though, and you need an adapter. And as far as zoom lenses go, there's the new 70, 200, 300 variable aperture lens that Sony released, but there's also these two 70 to 200 lenses, the f4 and absurdly expensive 2.8. Those are not options for me, either by price or aperture. And to be honest, I don't use zooms at all. Like I said, I'm a prime lens guy, so the 85 is perfect for me. I just wish it had more of a reach. Let's get into the video autofocus aspect of the two, and then I will move into the OLED display, how it works, and the couple different options that you can change with it. Alright, so this time I'm not going to shoot the back of the LCD screen like I did for the Canon lenses. I'm going to hand hold it, partly due to the fact that I want to show the stabilization, which right now is turned off, so that's why it's a little shaky. But it's also because I don't need to show the AF points on the back, because it works from edge to edge. I think it's a hybrid system, so it'll use a combination of both the contrast and phase detect, but it works, so I don't need to show the back of the screen. So like I said, right now the stabilizer is off. I think, based on my research, I found that the lens and the camera work in tandem. So it's not going to be a true test of the stabilizer, but that's because I can't do that, not without using the A6000. Right now I am using my A7 II, because that's what I used last time. So like I said, it's off, and now it's on. Instantly you can see a difference. Off, on, off, on. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on for the sake of this. Alright, I'm putting it in manual focus, and I'm going to just simply switch it to autofocus, and it goes right to it. Manual again, and auto. There you go. It is slower than the 70D that I mentioned, but it is faster than it was before. There we go again. Now back focus again. In this case, what it's doing is it's losing the structure of my face completely, because the little box disappears. So it's just doing a basic continuous autofocus. And then once it sees that there's a face, so it's completely out of focus now. Once it sees there's a face, it will then catch the face. That was pretty quick. We'll go the other way, and boom, it's done. Alright, so for this test, which is now the 25 f2, I have the stabilizer for the camera turned on. There is no stabilizer for the lens itself, so I'm not going to bother showing an on and off comparison, because it's just going to be the camera's stabilizer. But I can show you the AF speed and the fact that it works in video. So right now I've got it to its closest focusing distance, which I will show you is a very, very close, like from the edge of the lens, not from the sensor, but from the lens, it's probably a good 2 or 3 inches. I don't usually do it based on the where the flange is, the flange distance. It's hard to measure that when you're actually holding something, so I'm talking about from the front of the lens. It is about 3 inches or so. So it's completely out of focus now by hitting the button that I have assigned for autofocus. There you go. Let's go the other direction. And again, it is very quick. There we go. And it's very accurate too. I can move around, I can go everywhere, and that box will track my face and will keep it in focus. So lastly, I wanted to do a two-fold example, I guess you could say, of how the OLED display works, as well as how the focusing works in video mode for the Batis lenses. So I have the 25mm mounted on my A6000 here, and I've got it set to the center AF selection. This way you can see how it focuses, whether it catches it, whether it hunts, or whatever. Also, you can see in the background here, I've got some bushes and there's light peeking through, so you can see how it'll handle highlights and stuff. So it's kind of a multi-faceted test here. But anyway, let's move on to the OLED display. It works in 3 different ways. It can be always on, always off, or only on in manual focus. And that's how I have it set. So I'm going to put it in manual focus here. And as you can see, it changes pretty quickly. Now, being fly-by-wire or focus-by-wire, however you know the term, it's going to go pretty quickly. That's the electronic focusing motor. It's not as reliable as the conventional focusing motors. For instance, the 2 lenses that I had, those were fantastic. This is great. To be honest, it's the best implementation of a focus-by-wire system that I've used. I've used the Canon 50mm STM, the new one, and I've used the Sony 55mm 1.8. This is a very conventional feel. The rubber ring, the way it rotates, it just feels like a conventional system. But when you go really fast, it still skips around a lot. Now, there's 2 settings that you can change. There's the when the screen comes on, like I mentioned, but you can also change it from meters to feet. That's done by rotating it all the way to the right you have to keep going and keep going. There we go. It's usually about 3 or so rotations. So we're going to do it again because I keep it in meters, even though I don't use it very often. That's just how I've grown up to use it. And then to change the actual settings itself, you go to the left. So we'll spin and spin. There we go. So manual, always on, keep rotating, always off. And then whenever you get the one you want, all you do is just hit the shutter button or leave it or whatever. I think that is a pain in the butt to deal with, but I don't change it very much, so it doesn't matter to me. Another benefit to having it in connection with the camera is that it will automatically zoom in with the focus peaking, well, not focus peaking, the manual zoom in feature. So I have it set to custom 1, so I could do it myself or just zoom and it'll do it automatically. That's pretty cool. So that's been a quick rundown, I guess you could say, of the Batis 25mm f2 and the 85mm f1.8. Because I was kind of doing the OLED display and focusing on that, I didn't pay 100% attention to the way the 25 focused, but I think it was all right. If you have any questions about these lenses, let me know. I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I hope it helped.